Hey there, Central Ohio. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. It has been an active round of weather across Central Ohio since storms moved through last night. We were tracking them well into the early part of this morning. In fact, I didn't even get off TV last night until about 3 a.m. We're back here again this afternoon, though, of course, to keep you updated on the next round of rain and storms heading our way. We're not out of the woods yet when it comes to the risk for weather out there. In fact, we're going to start to transition to more of a flooding threat in the next 72 hours compared to the severe weather threat that we had pushed through last night. I want to go ahead and get you up to date on those storms as they came through, though. This was video from yesterday out of central Illinois of what possible tornado from that same system that headed our way. Of course, we had numerous tornado warnings across central Ohio last night, and we could again possibly get some of those confirmed throughout the day today. We'll update you here on 10 TV and on 10tv.com if any of those reports come in. Of course, if you have any information to share with us, you can always reach out on social media. You can find me, Meteorologist Michael Behrens, on Facebook, at Mike Behrens WX, pretty much everywhere else, or by texting us 614-460-3345. Our major impact as we head through the rest of the week, though, and really through Sunday, is going to transition to heavy rainfall and the possibility for flooding. You need to be prepared for that risk factor as we head through the next few days. This afternoon, mostly going to be quiet to start, but rain will pick back up as we head into the evening. Flood watch is in place till 8 a.m. on Sunday. That's the entirety of the 10 TV viewing area. So this is going to be a persistent and kind of a slow building threat for flooding as we head through the next few days. As of this afternoon, the clouds were in place across central Ohio, but not seeing much in the way of rainfall, at least not yet. That again will start to change as we head deeper into the afternoon. Plenty of warm air out there, 60s and 70s. The storms last night really didn't push this air mass out of the region, so there's still plenty of moisture across central Ohio to work with in the coming days. As we head through the afternoon, we will pick back up the rain chances, possibly including some thunderstorms. But the good news is we're not expecting severe weather for today, mostly just rain becoming heavier as we head toward tonight. In fact, I want to show you the severe weather outlook for today. It does clip far southern portions of the 10 TV viewing area. We're talking down to Athens, Jackson, Pike County, Scioto County. Those are clipped by a level 1 out of 5, but all risk factors are in the low range for today. We are watching, though, that flooding risk as we head into the afternoon. That will be our highest concern, especially as we start to get into the overnight and into the next couple of days when those rain showers pick up in intensity. Heading into the afternoon, rain was already building across the southern counties, McConnellsville to Waverly to Chillicothe as of about 1 o'clock, seeing those showers pushing through. But that was just the beginning of the rainfall. The real heavy stuff still down in portions of Kentucky. Heavy showers, some thunderstorms pushing through as we work our way into Thursday afternoon, and all of that eventually going to track its way up towards central Ohio, bringing us more rain chances as we head through again the next 24 hours, and again on Friday, again on Saturday, not wrapping up until we head towards Sunday. Here's a look hour by hour. Showers again, mostly southern counties through about sundown. Some of those will creep up toward I-70, but most of them stay to the south. We'll watch those showers become more numerous north of I-70 once we get past sundown tonight, starting to increase in intensity this evening in our southern counties. We pick up most of the region to heavy, moderate showers as we head to midnight and beyond into early Friday. We're dealing with another soaking across the region. That'll continue until about sunrise Friday morning. Beyond that, we start to weaken the showers. We keep the scattered chances in the forecast Friday during the daytime, but much like today, the daytime hours will be a little bit quieter, followed by an increase in rain chances as we head to the evening. Hour by hour past Friday afternoon shows those showers picking back up, becoming heavy again by Friday evening in some locations. It won't be everywhere all at once, but we are going to watch those showers come through, again, fairly heavy at times. We do have a risk for a gusty storm Friday night and again early Saturday. In fact, you can see it here, that stronger line of storms pushing into central Ohio as we head into early Saturday morning. while there is a risk factor for severe storms associated with this, it is much lower than what we saw last night. So I don't think we're going to repeat that same situation. But again, just stay weather aware as those storms head our way this weekend. And of course, we'll add more rain on top of what you saw here as we head into Saturday night and into early Sunday. So really looking at a lot more rainfall to come. The rainfall forecast through Friday morning, somewhere between a ½ to an1.5 inches across central Ohio. Hardest hit counties to the south will pick up another ½ inch to 1.5 inches as we head into Saturday morning, and then we'll add to it again as we head towards Sunday. Again, some of those hardest hit areas could pick up another 3-4 inches on top of the about 1.5 to 2 inches that we've already seen across the region. And again, that's the reason we're seeing those flooding concerns as we head toward this weekend. Your 10 weather impact 7-day forecast, 3 more weather impact alert days in place. They pick back up this evening as rain showers increase around the region. The reason is that flood potential. Now it's going to be highest further to the southwest, but here in Columbus and for most of central Ohio, we are under a level 2 out of 4 risk factor for flooding as we head into this weekend and head into this evening. The highest risk factor, I think, going to be south, especially along the Ohio River Valley. We start to get into more of those areas with changes in elevation. Could have some decent flooding concerns through today. We continue those concerns tomorrow, but mostly again tomorrow night and into Saturday, and into Sunday. We kind of maintain a similar picture here on that flood risk factor, which is a level 2 out of 5. Again, highest down towards Cincinnati and to the southwest, but we'll be dealing with these flooding concerns all the way through early Sunday before we get back to drier weather as we head to the back half of the weekend. Getting into next week, we see several days of quiet, which we certainly need here across central Ohio. Unfortunately, it comes with a bigger blast of cold temperatures. We see highs down as low as 44 by next Tuesday. So I hope you got to enjoy some of the warm weather before the storms got here, because now that we're past that first blast of severe weather, we are really into kind of a persistently rainy pattern and eventually a cooling pattern by the time the dry weather returns. Of course, we'll keep an eye on everything here at 10 TV. And speaking of keeping an eye on things, it has certainly been an active round of weather over the last day or so here in central Ohio. So we want to recap what has happened as many people are cleaning up their yards this afternoon from the storms last night. And people, some of them still waiting for power. This afternoon, 10 TV's Kira Lake has tips that you and your family need to stay safe when dealing with this storm damage.
It's been very busy here at the AEP Ohio Southeast Service Center with crews working to restore power. They've been taking off in trucks like this since I've been here, making sure they have all the equipment they need to get your power back on. Now, I want you to take a look at your screen for tips from AEP Ohio. And if you did lose power, they want you to have an emergency plan. If you or someone you live with has a health condition, check on your neighbors and the elderly and report your outage. Also, it may be a bit warm now, but if those temperatures drop, do not try and heat your home with the stove, oven, or grill, or use charcoal because it can release carbon monoxide, which is toxic. I also spoke to the AEP Ohio Director of Operations. He says as they work, safety is a top priority.
Not only for our crews, but definitely the public as well. And down wires, anytime there's a windstorm, is always, a safety concern there. So if you do see a down wire, stay away from it, and anything it may be touching, call 911 immediately, or us here at AEP Ohio, and we'll make sure to get somebody out there immediately.
And crews will be working around the clock to restore power. But also, if you have a tree in your yard that you think could take out one of your power lines, they do want you to contact them so they can check that out and hopefully prevent future power lines from going down during the next storm. Reporting from Southeast Columbus, Kira Lake, 10 TV News.
Meanwhile, the storm left behind more damage in Licking County. 10 TV's Jay Plyburn is there as crews start to clean up.
Good afternoon from Cross Street in Hartford, one of the areas that did see some damage with those storms overnight. We're just west of Croton Road, one of the main thoroughfares through this area. All is calm here right now, but it was a very different scene when we arrived around 3:30 this morning. Take a look at video from that time. This massive tree branch fell onto the porch of this home, crushing the roof. No injuries reported. That's the good news. There was a live power line involved, so AEP had to come out and clear that. And we spoke with the Hartford fire captain, who says having tree limbs fall during storms is not uncommon, but how you handle the cleanup is of great importance. Listen.
Definitely best to call us. We have some equipment, thermal imaging cameras to see if there's any fire danger, the ability to see if the power lines are energized and make those contacts to the appropriate resources. Definitely don't want to approach any dangers by yourself.
As we see more foliage on the trees this spring season, it'll be even harder to see those hidden dangers. So always play it safe and call 911 rather than trying to clear the debris yourself, especially if you're dealing with massive tree branches like this one. Reporting from Licking County, Jay Plyburn, 10 TV News.
And this is video from Twinsburg, just outside of the Cleveland area. Firefighters there on the scene saying smoke was billowing from all four sides of a house when they arrived. Neighbors rushed to make sure a young family inside made it out safely.
Both the residents and the baby were already outside, so I quick called 911. Just super thankful that all these fire departments could come and help so quickly.
And again, they suspect lightning causing that house fire. Everyone in the house is now safe and no injuries were reported. Now, with most of the storms out of the area, first responders are out looking for damage around central Ohio, and there are still some risks that you need to watch for. If you're in a damaged area, stay put unless it's safe to get out of that area. Downed power lines could still be live, and gas leaks are a possibility. If you smell gas, get out and shut off the main valve if you can. And if you need shelter assistance, call 211 for emergency housing options. Also, after the storm, make sure you take note of all the damages around your home and make sure you take pictures of the entire outside, including a detailed list of all of the damage, the age and cost of what was damaged. Also, keep 2 copies of your damage report. Later today, make any temporary repairs that you need to keep water outside of your house, and make sure that you keep all of the receipts for those repairs. And if you're using a generator after last night's storms, here's some tips that you need. First, make sure you add up all the power you're going to use and make sure the generator can withstand it. Do not overload that generator, and make sure that it is outside but under a cover so the generator does not get wet. Keeping the generator outside and away from windows and vents is the best way to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. And if you did suffer any damage last night, experts we spoke with recommend getting on the phone with your insurance agent as soon as possible. And as we prepare for more possible flooding this weekend, experts recommend asking your agent to review your policy. Ask them what's covered in the event of a storm, and it's also important to know your deductible.
The number one question would be is how much is the home insured for as far as the dwelling amount, the dwelling and structure amount. If you're a homeowner that has other structures like a pole barn or a detached garage or a garden shed, if you have something else on your property that would be another structure, you want to make sure that you've got appropriate coverage for that as well.
Insurance agents tell us you need to check your roof, your siding, or anything else that could have been damaged. Another idea is to invest in sensors that can detect water if it makes it into your home, and of course a small portable generator in case of power outages. Also, make sure that you're on the lookout for scammers after these storms have moved through. There's a new warning about fake contractors promising quick repairs and phony charities asking for donations. There might even be people posing as government officials offering you special funding if you tell them your personal information. To stay safe after a storm, make sure you research any company before hiring them. Be cautious of random calls and only use trusted websites to make donations. And moving beyond the damage from last night, the next threat we're all watching, of course, is that flooding. Here's 10 TV News reporter Kristen McFarland with what you need to do now to prepare.
Over the next few days, we could see multiple inches of rain. Now, emergency service providers are geared up and ready to respond if that rain gets in your basement, causing flooding. Providers say there's 3 things you should focus on. Make sure that your gutters are cleaned, make sure your sump pump works correctly, and clear any valuables off of your basement floor. Now, providers say that most homeowner insurance does not cover flooding insurance, and that if you don't have this, you could be out of pocket thousands of dollars. Reporting in Grandview, Kristen McFarland, 10 TV News.
And sticking with our flooding concerns, if you see water on the road, officials always say the phrase, turn around, don't drown. And here's the reason why. As little as 6 inches of standing water on the road, you can lose control of your car or it can stall out. If there's 1 foot of water, you can actually float that vehicle. And over 2 feet of water, your vehicle can be carried away. Switching gears now, severe weather like we've seen this morning isn't uncommon for this time of year, and one Ohio family in Hancock County knows that all too well. Ben and Kaylee Neese lost their home to an EF1 tornado in March of last year, and in the months since, they've been putting their life back together. Storms like we've seen can bring those memories back, especially as they continue to put those pieces together. The tornado that destroyed their home, Kaylee's car, a barn, and ripped a roof off another in the area of their storms. Ben says the damage totaled more than $500,000.
From the road, it looked like it was just a roof, but once you actually got into the house and started looking around, everything was completely twisted and unsavable.
The good news now, their home is nearly done. It's been under construction for the last 7 months, and well, it's expected to be done in the next month. They say it's been a long journey, but it was made possible thanks to help from contractors and support from their community. And finally today, check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. We're going to stick with the storm threat for just a moment. Possible tornado and lightning. I think it's easy to say that's probably a real tornado. Was seen Wednesday in Lake City, Arkansas. No surprise, certain areas of Arkansas were dealing with power outages after the storms passed through. Just judging from that video there, I mean, you can't see immediately to the ground, but that looks like a massive, large tornado on the ground there. And that's just one of numerous reports that we saw of strong tornadoes from yesterday. And thankfully, we didn't see storms that strong here in Ohio. But of course, we did have our own damage nonetheless. But those tornadoes out west, certainly impressive. And speaking of impressive video, this is Mount Marapi in Indonesia's West Sumatra province. It erupted on Thursday, sending an ash column 1.5 kilometers above its peak into the sky. The severity of the eruption has been rated at a level 2. That's the 3rd highest level, which involves a 3-kilometer exclusion zone. This is one of the country's most active volcanoes, and an eruption killed at least 24 climbers back in 2023. Most of those were university students during that previous eruption. But you can see here certainly a large and violent eruption going on there in Indonesia. Very impressive video, and again, hope everyone stays safe around that volcano. That's going to do it for today's version of the 10 Weather Impact Show here on 10 TV Plus. Of course, we've got much more weather to talk about coming up tonight at 6. Usually we toss to Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz, but you'll have me again back tonight at 6 o'clock. Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz, he'll be here at 11. But of course, until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.